Thank you very much for waiting, and welcome to those of you who are joining us now for this first edition of the eHealth Investor Forum organized by the Col·legi de Metges de Barcelona, the Medical Association of Barcelona, ESADE Van, Barcelona Activa, and Barcelona Health Hub. And of course, sponsored today by Amazon Web Services. 10 companies will be pitching in front of you. 6 at the pre-seed seed stage and 4 in the growth stage. Now I would like to give the stage to Nadia Pons, Director of the Health Entrepreneurship Program at COMB, Fernando Zallo, Director at ESADE Band, and Jaume Baró, Business Services Director at Barcelona Activa, at the Ajuntament de Barcelona. They will tell you why we are here today. Start with the first company. We would like to thank our panel of investors who selected the companies pitching today. But before, let's hear.
So good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for attending. I'm Nadia Pons, Director of the Health Entrepreneurship Program at the Medical Association of Barcelona, and I'm really glad to be here together with the Barcelona Health Hub in this first edition of the eHealth Investment Forum. As some of you may know, the Medical Association, together with ESADE Ban and Barcelona Activa, Barcelona City Hall, have been organizing for the past 10 years the health investment forums, which are forums that are more focused on biotechnological developments and deep tech startups. Now, and taking into account the situation that the world is living in, especially Europe, we think it's the moment for digital health to take off. So we hope that all of you find this new space useful. I would like to wish this event the same results and the same good luck that we have with the other forums. And good luck also to all entrepreneurs pitching today. Now, Fernando, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nadia. Thank you, everybody. Well, ESADE Ban is very pleased to co-organize this first eHealth Investment Forum, jointly with Col·legi de Metges de Barcelona, Barcelona Health Hub, and Barcelona Activa. ESADE Ban is a business angel network created by Alumni Association of ESADE Business School 15 years ago. In this period, 33 million euros have been invested in 212 startups by the 200 members of the network. Health, and particularly eHealth, is one of the preferred sector for our network investors. We organize with Col·legi de Metges, Biocat, Barcelona Activa, and since 2009, we co-organize the Investment Health Care Forum, where companies that have present in this forum have received more than 150 million euros of funding in the period. No? So we are very proud of these figures, and that demonstrate the interest for our investors of the projects of eHealth, no? and health in general. No? We think that the interest of investing in eHealth projects for our business angel network members will increase considerably in the coming years. For this first edition of the eHealth Investment Forum, focused in telemedicine, we have received more than 50 startups, and a committee made up of organizers and investors has selected the 10 companies that are going to pitch now. We hope you like them. If you are interested in any of the companies, please tell us through the chat in this platform, and we will organize meeting with the entrepreneurs afterwards. Thank you very much, and I pass the word to Jaume Baró of Barcelona Activa. Please, Jaume.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Jaume Baró, representing the City Council of Barcelona through Barcelona Activa, the local development agency of the City Council. Well, we are very proud to follow and help the entrepreneurship ecosystem since 1966. And during these years, we have organized and managed hundreds of health initiatives. And today probably is another day that we have achieved another milestone organizing or helping to organize this marketplace between investors and digital health initiatives. So for me, congratulations to the organization, and also congratulations to all of the entrepreneurs that will present it today. And if you need something from the City Council of Barcelona Activa, you can contact us through LinkedIn or our webpage or these platforms. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fernando, Jaume, and Nadia. And now, and before we start with the first company, we would like to thank our panel investors who selected the companies pitching today. They are Laurent Dulan, Javier Núñez Vicandi, Nadia Pons, Cristian Pascual, Edward Kipluis, Fernando Zallo, Adrià Escola, Lara Kuhl, Aline Noisette, and Miguel Valls. Thank you. Thank you very much to all of you. A different panel of investors will be judging the companies today. Adrià Escola, Alex Fair, Rosario Muñoz, Fiona Patriraja, Lauren Dolan, Leonor Alarcón, Uriol Juncosa, and Tim Jurgens. Please, judges, remember that when you have questions, you need to raise your hand in the chat, and we will put on the big screen in order to make the question directly, okay? And regarding today, just one quick thing. I'm very, very happy because we have a good parity today with 4 out of 10 pitches from women. So congrats to all of you as well. Each company will have 7 minutes to pitch their solution and answer a few questions from our judges. So please, all companies, the longer you pitch, the less time for questions, right? 7 minutes in total. We will start right now with the pre-seed, seed categories, companies that are looking for less than 1 million in funding. Without further ado, let's welcome our first presenter. He is David Martín Corral, co-founder and CEO of Sensei. Sensei helps people to take care of their respiratory health using data-driven virtual respiratory clinic. David, the floor is yours. David is here with us right now. Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm ready. Thank you. Sorry. Bona tarda. Good afternoon. First of all, I'm David Martín Corral, co-founder of Sensei, and I want to thank to the organizers and especially to Nadia Pons and Aline Noisette for the trust and the hard work that they have done. And first, I want to make you a direct question. When you were confined, locked down in March, and now that you are being locked down again, were you afraid? I wasn't, because I am a computational epidemiologist. I knew what was going to happen, and I know what is going to happen now. And I'm sure, and I believe that the solution that we are proposing right now is key for the current situation and for the future, because we help people to take care of their respiratory health through a data-driven and holistic digital respiratory therapy. There are nearly 2 billion people around the world that they have some kind of respiratory problem due to environment, pollution, pollens, viruses, habits, behaviors, social factors, lack of adherence to the treatment. And the current solution for taking care of those respiratory patients is reactive and impersonal. And they don't take into account the needs of the patient, which understand the triggers for the respiratory symptoms, know how they will feel tomorrow, and how they receive proactive and preventive health advice, and they want to help their doctors. So we believe in a personalized, preventive, and proactive digital therapy, because science says so. It increases up to 48% symptom-free days, and it fulfills the needs of the patients. And through our vision and our solution that is holistic and data-driven, we can give that kind of digital therapy. So if we want to prevent the symptoms, we need to monitor the health in order to give data-driven interventions. So the market, these are numbers from previous the pandemic, 64 billions for asthma, COPD, and rhinitis. There are nearly 2 billions if we add up more patients that they have all kind of problems. And also we know that respiratory patients, they generate 4 times more coughs than an average person. And during the cold seasons, now that we are starting, 68% of visits during cold seasons are respiratory. So we know it's already crowded, this market. It has burned a lot of money, but they have been focusing on smart inhalers, digital biomarkers, or mindfulness respiratory exercises. Why are we different? Because we take into account all of that, and also because we are experts in deep respiratory phenotyping, in data. And also we know how to make that data actionable through computational epidemiology and behavior change. And we have deep expertise in the main prevalent respiratory diseases. And also we are obsessed with the unconscious needs of the respiratory patients. If we want to change the behavior, we need to understand how they feel and how they think. The business model right now, we are focusing on B2C in order to get into metrics, and we have defined a plan, a monthly subscription plan with 2 plans: no professional health supervision and a health professional supervision, follow-up, proactive, with the human touch. And after that, in 2021, we want to be focused on B2B2C as other success stories are doing for corporation and health insurance companies. So our ambition right now is, now by the end of the year, we want to have 25,000 monthly active users and have the first monetization metrics. Next year, we want to be focusing on business development in B2B2C and starting medical validation in order to be ready by 2021 to open new geographies. It would be those that are health systems that are more advanced, like Germany, France, and Belgium, than they already have in place the digital reimbursement, or go to Latin America, Africa, or India, or Southeast, because they don't have those kind of advanced health systems. I'm so proud for the team that we have built. We are working since April 2021. We have been working in startups. We have a doctor that is the main researcher of 3 COVID clinical trials. We have a patient researcher that has worked in Philips, and myself, a computational epidemiologist. Also, we have Lola, that he has a lot of big knowledge of our IES on how to build and how to do business development and help us to scale our company. And also, just by the end, because I'm a computational epidemiologist, I had the moral duty to start to work, because I know how to give solutions to the current situation. So I have been working, and I published as a co-author in Nature Human Behavior, a paper for the strategy on how not saturate the hospitals. And it has been referred by Edith Topol. Maybe you know it. He's a famous cardiologist from Stanford, and also from Anna Botín made mention of our work. So we have the moral duty to give solutions to the current situation and for the future. And the thing is, okay, we know what is going on. I know if you know as an investor that you have uncertainty, I know how to walk you through that uncertainty, because I know what is going to happen in the coming years, because I know how it's going to behave, the dynamic of the virus. So if you want to help us to help millions of people to take care of their respiratory health, join us in our trip. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. 1.5 minutes for questions. Do we have judges? Do we have questions for David Martin?
So, are we supposed to just put them in the chat box, or do we say the questions?
Can you repeat the question, please?
I have a question for David. This is David. Thank you for your presentation and for your progress so far. My name is Oriol Juncosa from Encomenda. I would like to know your thoughts about customer acquisition or user acquisition, and particularly user retention. Okay, so how are you thinking about it, and how do you really want to scale your product?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Ariel, for your question. Yeah, we have, from our previous version, we have retention metrics from 30% after 30 days, and we have cohorts after 6 months of nearly 20%. But for those that they really need and that do that care. And how to scale the acquisition of users? We want to go in a B2C way. I mean, we want to go in a B2B2C way in order to scale in the prescription where a corporation or doctors are the ones that prescribe our service. So we also want to go, and we are already talking with digital health partner platforms that they will give us that scale.
Very much, David, and all judges. We have to continue, and now let's welcome Alberto Fantapié, co-founder and CEO of Wemby. Wemby provides tech-enabled online therapy and mental health coaching to individuals and organizations. Alberto, all yours.
Thank you, Elena. Thank you so much. I cannot share my screen. Is disabled? Is disabled, Aline. So I just repeat, I cannot share my screen because it is disabled.
Screen?
And now, yes, now it's working. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can see it right now. So you can start whenever you want.
Thank you again, Elaine. Thank you to Barcelona Health Hub for inviting us to take part in the investment forum. So Wemby has the ambition to become the global psychology platform and bring affordable quality mental health to the modern workforce across the world. Some quick highlights. We provide online counseling and mental health coaching. We got about a 60% gross margin, and we have delivered since January 2019 more than 1,500 sessions. My story, on a nutshell, is I spent about 10 years in technology working for companies like Google, Zalando, Rocket Internet. I started my first startup in Paris. And I spent 2 years as an aid worker working for the International Committee of the Red Cross in conflict zones like Afghanistan and South Sudan. After that, I had a burnout. And that's when I decided to provide mental health support.
Just a quick thing, sorry to interrupt you, but the presentation that you can see is completely cut on the right side. Can you check it before? Just to be sure all the judges can see the complete information. Your presentation.
Okay, can you see
Maybe you can stop sharing right now and then start sharing again. I think probably will be easier.
Can you see it now?
Bigger than the space we have. Maybe can you zoom out a little?
So
okay,
actually, I don't
we
know
got
how
it.
to,
so Alberto, you can continue if you want. We got it.
It's good on the screen.
Good. Okay, thank you. I will skip the rest of the story to make the time. Mental health is a massive space that has been growing considerably in the past years, and psychology mental health service is about $1 trillion worldwide. So Wemby, as a strategy, is starting to target NGOs, healthcare, and public sector in the UK and in Spain. So about 84% of current workers consider mental health a problem, and that the service they are receiving from their companies is inadequate. In the UK alone, 70 billion are lost every year as the cost of mental health, and in Europe is about 250 billion. So Wemby targets companies, users, and counselors. Each of them are a potential revenue stream for us. We are starting with the companies, and we plan in Q3 about 2021 to move to users. And we provide as well a CRM for the therapist, and we are looking to monetize these at the end of 2021. Wemby is a mobile app, and it provides an initial diagnostic for the employee base as a screening assessment. And after that, depending on the severity, users will be focused on one-on-one sessions with therapists or on self-management and content. So to date, we got 5 corporate clients. We were working with the United Nations, Save the Children, with University Carlos III. We are expecting about 20K monthly recurring revenues by the end of the year. We have more than 110,000 euros in accumulated revenues since the beginning of the year. 17 accredited psychologists and more than 100 in the extended network to scale quickly in case we get a large client coming in. So our ambition is to become a data company. We want to be able to have defined predictive models to anticipate mental health conditions for users before they occur. The idea is on the long run, we can say, hey, Joe, based on your personality, the place you work, and your historic, you got about 70% probability of developing anxiety in the next 6 months. We can say this based on the data we have collected with a confidence interval of about 80%. And we provide you a WEMBI solution to help you to prevent this. Like WEMBI for anxiety, a plan mix with one-on-one sessions with therapists and specialized content to reduce the risk of this occurring. So the moment we're raising a seed round, we are starting to partner with insurances, and we are looking to deploy machine learning, artificial intelligence in Q2 of 2021. This is our leadership team. Me, myself, as I mentioned before, have extensive experience in the internet sector. Hugo is our CTO, who started his startup, raised money, and led a team of about 5 developers. Fernando is our head of business development, and Soraya is our head of clinical psychologist with more than 10 years in private practice. We have a very strong advisory board, with Chris being the director of Cambridge Entrepreneurship Program, Jean-Claude, head psychiatrist at the University of Geneva Hospitals, Norman, former head counselor of the Red Cross and advisor to the United Nations, Thomas, the director of EMEA of market expansion for Google, and Begonia, the former global partnership head of AXA, and Ashish and Ram and Riti, our technical advisors, all coming from top internet companies. Thank you. Any questions, please?
Now your turn. We have minute and 10. So any questions? You can go ahead.
So is this primarily just for anxiety, or it could be for anything?
We generally focus on stress, anxiety, depression, and trauma.
Covers a lot.
And from my end, Alberto, the question, what is the clinical effectiveness? Have you already some proof of effectiveness?
Absolutely. We got like about 2 years of commercial experience, commercial traction, 15 sessions, 15,000 of, 1,500 of sessions. And basically like on 3 months, we managed to improve well-being, overall well-being self-reported by about 20%, and decrease conditions average about 18% per user on a 3 months, during a 3 months period.
So what makes you more effective than other solutions in the market?
The mix. Basically, we have a mix of one-on-one sessions and self-paced content.
Thank you.
Much, Alberto, for your time. Let's continue, and judges, I want to introduce you Stefan Schauer-Burkhardt, co-founder and managing director of Room for Physio. Room for Physio make physiotherapy fun and affordable.
Hi guys, I hope you can hear me. My name is Stefan. I'm one of the co-founders of Room for Physio. We make physiotherapy fun, sustainable, and affordable. So the issue is up to 1/3 globally suffer from musculoskeletal disorders, yet traditional treatment has proven to be ineffective and not sustainable. We know painkillers and injections are fighting symptoms, surgeries are high risk and high cost, and traditional physiotherapy is resource intensive. Oliver and I have experienced exactly that during the Corona crisis because we couldn't see our physiotherapist. I had an injury on the arm, I broke my arm, and we did not see any viable solution on the market to support a therapy in that setup. What we know from studies as well is that exercise therapy is the best treatment strategy, but patients don't exercise. And some of you might know it. You see your physiotherapist, you walk out the door after your last session, you have a paper-based training plan, you train the first week, the second week, you lose the motivation already. What we do offer is a blended care mobile application for personal training and rehabilitation, which consists of a digital connection you can have with your physiotherapist, so a teletherapy setup while you're doing the exercises at home, an asynchronous training part where your therapist provides you with a video-based training plan. You would be using your mobile phone to do a video-based training, and the phone would support you with detecting the exercises, counting repetitions and other important biometrical factors, and provide you and your physiotherapist with that tracking to keep you motivated and an overview of your rehabilitation process, as well as the physiotherapist have your training adjusted accordingly. Our business model is B2B2C, so we provide this training management platform to therapists or clinics. Patients would be using this app promoted by the therapist or the clinic to receive their holistic treatment app-based with therapy and the at-home training. So what we do different is that we offer both synchronous and asynchronous training at home. We keep the therapist in the loop. The therapist is a person of trust for all of us, and we see the necessity to keep that person part of the treatment process. We do integrated therapeutic tests which provide relevant information for the therapist of the rehabilitation process, along with tracking and data intelligence, which helps us in a second step to propose good treatment plans to therapists for specific disease setups. As well, we don't need any external sensors. We can work only with the smartphone. Our go-to-market strategy is that we are in intense discussions with clinics currently. We are discussing with over 10 sites in Austria currently to validate that product. We are in discussion with a European study to use the product to support the tracking of a clinical study in an exercise setup. We are heavily focusing on partnerships, both associations, insurance companies, as well as IT service providers to tackle that market. And for the physiotherapists, not the clinical setup, we are heavily targeting media and word of mouth effects, because those guys are all very well connected. The market is rather big. We are talking about 300 million affected persons in Europe and Austria only, which makes us a 40 billion market. Only in the DACH region, it leaves us with a 4 billion market, assuming a 10% market share, provides us a 400 million euros market. The founders and the team, Oliver has been 4 years with Boston Consulting Group, has been founding a startup already. I am a technology manager. I was in automotive, focusing on organization-wide IT and change management heavy projects. Both of us have history in physiotherapies from patient side and have been affected during this crisis. Our CTO, Lucas, has over 10 years of experience in AI and machine learning, especially in biomedical setup. And we have 2 physiotherapists in our team to provide us with that relevant market knowledge, as well as 2 advisors from academia and education to help us on our journey. Now, we have started only this year and built the teletherapy solution. We are developing currently the MVP for this AI-based training app. We have built first significant partnerships and onboarded currently over 60 physiotherapists. We are looking for more funding towards end of the year to develop the product, to validate it with clinics, to certify it, and to roll out the product in the DACH region, which is a good home market for us next year. So I would invite you to join us on our mission to higher quality of life. We're looking for both investments as well as partnerships to validate that product. Thank you.
Stefan, time for our judges to make all the questions that you require.
Stefan, I have a question for you. I'm wondering how you quality assure your physiotherapists.
So the physiotherapist is always treating the patient. We're just digitalizing a process, right? We're just digitalizing a process between a patient and a physiotherapist. Of course, if we have those therapists on a platform, there's rating mechanism so that customers, patients can engage, rate physiotherapists for specific areas, how well they are treating them during the process.
So, Stefan, I have a question too. which kind of metrics are you following to be sure that your solution is more effective than other solutions that there are in the market?
I mean, we are different than most of the solutions in the market because we have the therapist in the loop, right? We are starting a pilot with clinical institution now towards hopefully end of the year, and we're hoping that this pilot with a clinical setup will provide us the relevant intelligence to see if we can treat the patients in a way we were thinking to.
So is your AI is measuring range of motion? I mean, have you built that part yet?
Yes, we are planning to as well measure range of motion. At first, we are focusing on
Just
repetition counting.
Like figuring out like from my phone how I'm moving or what?
Yeah, right. That's okay.
But then you don't know if I'm getting full extension per se. I mean, I don't know. Just seems difficult.
So there is, for certain exercises, you can do it if you are in the right position, right? With a 2D camera, there's technology that you can more or less extend from a 2D picture to a 3-dimensional picture, at least get an estimate for that range of motion.
Stefan, for your presentation. Let's continue and let me introduce you, Enrique Fernandez, CEO of Lucy Health Solutions. Lucy is an application for people that want to detect early symptoms of Alzheimer or dementia, using voice interaction to monitor and detect initial signs of cognitive decline. Enrique, whenever you want.
Good evening. 10 years ago, my grandfather was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease.
Hilfsfragen wieder, oder?
Up until half a year ago, when he died by COVID-19, he didn't recognize me anymore. Like myself, I think there's a lot of people here today that might have experienced something similar. My name is Enrique Fernandez, and this is Lucy Health Solutions. Like my grandfather, there's more than 50 million people around the world that are suffering from dementia. In Spain, there's more than 1 million people. And don't you think this is something that starts when you are really old? It can start by age 50. This is a market that last year moved on more than $1 billion in Europe, and that had a growth rate of 25%. So we wanted to focus on the problem of late detection and helping with that. Because the sooner a patient gets diagnosed, the better quality of life will have along the disease. Not only that, but also can enter in experimental treatments. That's why we look at the pathway and we found several points that can be optimized. And that's the moment we created Lucy, a voice interaction application that collects data using gamified exercises in order to detect early-stage dementia and monitor evolution. How does it work? Well, first of all, the user downloads the application, and just by talking and performing some exercises, we create a report that can be shared with a professional. This professional will use the report to perform a diagnosis or a follow-up of the disease. Obviously, we have found some competitors on the market. For ones more oriented to professionals, others oriented to patient, and startups and spin-offs that are more state-of-the-art. However, Lucy combines both worlds perfectly, as it's oriented to professionals that can perform clinical tests, as well as monitoring how it evolves. But also the patients get the detection soon, and also cognitive stimulation as well. That's why we propose a value for hospitals and clinics based on time reduction for consultancies, as well as increasing the patient treatment engagement. And for the other hand, we have pharmaceutical and investigation centers that will be reducing the cost of the clinical trials at the same time they acquire more data. Everything in a software as a service model based on the amount of users and the hours of technical support time. Our team is composed by Cristina Stantini, who's my co-founder and lead in the clinical part, Alan Scully, in charge of the marketing part, Alex Duran, who's the clinical psychologist and is helping with the clinical part, and myself, Enrique, who is electronic engineer, and I am developing the technological part. Up until now, we've won several prizes, and just last month we launched the first market version that now has more 50 users. And we plan to do a preclinical trial just in the following months, and looking for a clinical trial in the next year. That's why we're looking for 250,000 euros in order to look for a clinical trial, invest something in marketing, and improve the human team. As a concluding remarks, we have a disruptive voice-based application that detects dementia early, combines monitoring and stimulation. Right now, we have more than 50 users, and we are going to do a preclinical, and we are looking for a clinical trial next year in order to obtain a certification. So that's it from our side. Thank you very much, and remember to join us and be part of the new era. If you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Enrique. Time for questions. So, judges, it's your time.
Hey, this is Lauren at Startup Health. Thanks, Enrique, for that presentation. Curious you mentioned, I think you said you had about 50 users on the beta from the summer. Great to hear any metrics you have or how you're kind of tracking success there.
Well, we have 50 users from last month, which is, well, we have not invested anything in marketing yet, and we are collecting users just for data processing and in order to train artificial intelligence later. I don't know if that's answering your question or not.
Yeah, I was just curious of like how you're measuring success. Maybe that it's more for training the algorithm, but would be just curious about how you measure success with the product, whether that's now or maybe what you're going to do with your clinical trials.
Oh, the idea is doing a preclinical trial where we know the people that has any kind of dementia, and then we correlate that with results obtained from the application, as well as some random people that may or may not have dementia that will help as a control unit.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Do you utilize any clinically validated detection measures, which then lead to measurability of overperformance to other solutions?
Yeah, we use a cross-validation. From one side, we have clinical trial tests that are standard in the market and are going to be used anyway. And from the other side, we have created our own content that has to be validated yet. And that's the moment where cross-validation counts.
Enrique, let's continue with Eva Gallant. She's the CEO and founder of Hasiona. Hasiona improves the day-to-day quality of life for Hashimoto patients and helps them move into remission. Eva, very welcome. And all yours.
Hello everyone. My name is Eva and I'm founder of Hasiona, the first all-in-one app for Hashimoto and hypothyroid patients. But let me explain. This is your thyroid, a small organ on our neck. It is responsible for our energy and metabolism. When the thyroid is underperforming, everything in our body slows down dramatically. And it is mostly women disease. Most of the patients, 90% of them, are women. Those women may have up to 45 different symptoms, including constant tiredness, sleeping problem, gaining a weight, depression, or brain fog. And this problem may be more common than you may think about. 1 out of 8 women globally has or will have thyroid disorder. We're talking here about more than 880 million people affected globally. So what's the problem with the current thyroid care? The care is very simple. It's just one pill called levothyroxine that patients are taking before the breakfast. But the problem is different. Over 70% of the patients being on the levothyroxine still feeling symptomatic. Why? Well, Hashimoto, Hashimoto, which mostly causes hypothyroid, is autoimmune disease and it affects the whole body and it should be treated as such. So what the patient have to do to get into remission? They have to implement, similar to the depression or some mental health problems, they have to implement a permanent lifestyle changes. Changes like restrictive diet, changes like sport activity, but not all of them are recommended for people with autoimmune diseases. Sleeping cycle regulated because of our P2RT. Implementing and deficit of vitamins and macro elements. Taking care about other organs and as well taking care about our stress. So what is Hashiona? Hashiona is based on my own personal experience. I'm also a Hashimoto patient since 6 years. We create this app, which is a thyroid diaries, kind of thyroid companion app. In this app, we are working on our pretty unique AI-powered step-by-step remission program. It's a program up to which takes up to 24 weeks and help people get into remission. So it's a detailed lifestyle guideline. It's helping them with a blood test analyzing. It's providing them with a customized health recommendation, and it's helping them as well, providing unlimited clinician chat. But we also have a different features as I guess any other companion app. So we help people to track their symptoms and the lifestyle, everything what I mentioned before. We remind about the next doctor appointments or taking a pill. We provide them with an analytical model so they can track their current health condition and help them to discover something we call individual health pattern, because each patient have a little bit different experience. We also provide them to the access to the knowledge, to the newest medical research, and access to the community, because similar to depression, this disease is not really very well understood by the family and friends, so the people feel lonely. And our progress. Since March, we spent more than 40 hours with our patients. We managed to deliver our MVP, and we collect more than 100 signups. In November, we plan to launch our app in the English version. We also have a couple of small successes. We won a Reactor X pre-accelerator. We have been a part of Stanford Rebuild program. Currently, we are participating in H+ Innovation in Munich in Germany. And in November, we also start MIT Enterprise Forum. In terms of H+ Innovations, a program in Munich which put us in front of 22 and the biggest German and international insurance company to validate the idea and perform together with a POC. We're also raising our first fund of 300,000 euros, which 100,000 is already committed, and we expect another 100,000 to be committed in the next until the end of the month. We also have been covered by media more than 25 times, including Sifted, and we have a fantastic team. We have more than 22 years of experience building a digital product for companies like Samsung, RBS, or WeWork. We also have a very strong advisory board, from most of them coming from the US, like Uldis, who has an exit track in Silicon Valley, Anna Labno, who is leading health department in Boston Consulting Group, or Linda Dunbar, who has a more than 25 years experience as spokesperson. It's not on the slides right now, but we also have a commitment from more than 12 endocrinologists around the world to being our mentors and help us develop this product further. Thank you so much. My name is Eva, and I'm co-founder of Hashiona. I'm open for any question that you may have.
Well, Elaine already yelled at me for asking too many questions. So if anybody else wants to ask questions first, you can. Okay, so tell me about your business model. I mean, I am one of those patients. I would use this app. I just look to download it in the store. But, you know, how are you going to get paid?
Definitely. So we started in March as a B2C company, and that was our approach. However, because of the participation on different programs, we realized that there is a strong interest from insurance company. So we are right now exploring the option to be B2B2C product.
You are exploring, or you're not?
Yeah, we are exploring that together with those 22 partners from H+ Innovation. We're planning to make the decision until the end of the year. But we build the product in the customers first approach anyway.
Hi, Eva. I want to ask you, how do you use artificial intelligence in your solution to provide a better efficiency?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for this question. So we collect a lot of data, subjective data from the self-tracking, and based on this data and the patient blood test, we adjust the step-by-step remission program to be valid for them, and then obviously get the feedback as well on it. In the future, we are able to we guess we will be able to collect all of this big data from other patients, and we will be able to recommend, by comparison to a single patient profile, recommend the patient some kind of special treatment. Let's say we can recommend them that another 150,000 customers feel much better eliminating gluten from the diet.
Time and for your all information that you have explained. Let's continue. Right now it's the turn of Faiza Sheikh, founder of Happier You. Happier You is helping you find the right therapist for you.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Sure.
Perfect. Can you guys see my screen?
You're welcome.
Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet. Right now, yes.
Perfect. Awesome. Hi everyone. Hope you guys are well. It's been really nice to hear everyone's really exciting products. I've just been smiling at my screen the whole time. I'm so excited. So I'll tell you a bit more about what Happier You is and why I do what I do. Happier You, we are not a mindfulness app. That's one of the first perceptions people have of us. Happier You is delivering digital cognitive behavioral therapy, and now we are also launching a platform a teletherapy platform where we want anyone to be able to connect to a therapist, no matter how much money they have, regardless of their race, culture, the language they speak. So we believe that mental health there is no physical health without mental health, and everyone deserves equal opportunities when it comes to being able to access mental health. So I'll tell you what we have built so far. So I started working on Happier You in 2018 because I saw a lot of my friends and family were struggling with their mental health, with anxiety, depression, being burnt out from their jobs. And they always ended up on a waiting list at the NHS in London. So they always ended up for like a year or 6 months. And when it came to private therapy, it was very much like, if you could afford it as a luxury, the £70, the £100 an hour, £150, for example, at the Priory Hospital, then you're very, very lucky and of the very, very few. Otherwise, as an average person, most of the apps you see nowadays, there's a lot of American apps out there which do an amazing job, but it's just simply not affordable for every person. Someone on a 20k, 30k salary might not necessarily be able to afford a therapy subscription of $300, $400. So we decided to take this on ourselves and try and solve the problem. I'm going to give you an example of one of our users called Sarah. Sarah lost her job recently during the COVID-19 pandemic. It triggered her anxiety and depression. Sarah, coming from an African-American background, she felt like there was no mental health sort of service that catered to diversity. So diversity in mental health doesn't really exist right now. It's very much like you are given an allocated therapist and you just have to hope that you can be vulnerable with them and you can connect with them and you can open up, but that's not always the case. So she was referred through her GP to the NHS services, and a waiting time based on her postcode in the UK was about 1 year. So I'll tell you why Sarah's story matters. So mental health matters, and I'm sure you guys are aware, we're in the middle of a global pandemic, in the middle of probably the worst recession, economic uncertainty, half of the world's, going through lockdown or just been through lockdown. Economic costs and mental illness in England have estimated has been like for 105 billion each year. That's the impact. Because of COVID-19, anxiety sufferers have now doubled to 25 million. 1 in 10 people are now affected by depression, and only 10% of the Black and ethnic minority feel like, you know, their psychological therapies that they're given around the world through the NHS or private actually meet their cultural needs. So you can see that there's a huge market that's not really included in the mental health landscape. So they're not really catered for, which is unfortunate. And that's what we're trying to build a product that's very inclusive. So we built Happier You. So what we have right now on the App Store live, we launched last year, October in 2019. We started with courses for depression and anxiety that we found some amazing therapists that built those. And now in November, we are launching teletherapy. So you can connect to a therapist from the same culture as you, who speaks the same language as you, within minutes. And we have a sliding scale, so you can choose to pay, if you can only afford £30, up to like £70, £80. And it's very much like we're giving you the option, you can get help for whatever you can afford, rather than charging you a set subscription for hundreds of dollars. So the Happier You is targeting the €1 billion market. The market is estimated at 15.8 billion in Europe. Again, some more stats on the market size. 16.7 million people experience mental illness in the UK each year. Some of our milestones: when we started, Happier You was first founded in Techstars Accelerator program in 2018. We launched our first version in August 2019. I'll tell you a bit of our traction so far. So we've got 6,500 users so far across the globe in 10 different countries. Our biggest user base is in the US, and then it's in the UK. And we've got 600 active monthly users so far. We've got some amazing reviews on the App Store, 83 reviews, 4.7 out of 5. And we've delivered 1,500 CBT courses so far. But we're just starting. So our business model is we're split into B2C and B2B. So B2C, we plan to take 10% off every single transaction between the therapist and a user, a consultation. And from January onwards, Q1, we plan to add a lot more content for financial support, PTSD, eating disorders, generalized anxiety, really, really specific content that's being developed right now to specifically help people during the lockdown phase and during COVID. And B2B, next year, we plan to partner with employers and insurance companies to offer our content and our access to our therapists. Some of our partnerships where we've been talking to the National Health Service, we plan to partner with pharmaceutical companies and employers. The mental health landscape, a bit of other kind of companies who are also in this space: Headspace, Unmind, Talkspace, and BetterHelp, as I'm sure you've heard. But we combine both. Yeah. And then a bit about our team. I have previously worked as a delivery manager at Babylon Health, where I've seen firsthand how digital health works, how it scales, and also the challenges within digital health and the NHS. And my co-founder is Daniel, and he's previously worked at Google. And some of our incredible therapists, Dr. Nadeem Siddiqui and Gemma Boyd, who've written and developed all the content for us so far. And obviously our amazing designer for all the graphics you've seen. And some of our advisors are Peter Klein, a CBT therapist at the Priory Hospital, Amjad Khan, who is director of vaccines at Pfizer, the pharmaceutical company, and Josie, who is founder and CEO of Bold Health. And yeah, and that's a bit of a summary.
Presentation. Unfortunately, no time for questions, but I hope everything is absolutely clear for sure. That was the last seat presentation. Now the judges will vote, so please don't beat your nails. Results will be announced very, very shortly, so don't move. Of course, you can stretch just a little bit, stand up and sit down a bit. And right now, we are going to start with the growth companies. Okay, now it's time for the growth companies to present, but first of all, I would like to introduce the jury who will judge them and select the winner. They are Flavia Richardson, Thijs Cohen, Sam Milliken-Smith, Guy Spiegelman, and Javier Núñez Vivandi. So, without further ado, let's welcome the first growth company. Enric Pallares, co-founder and CEO of LactUp, is the breastfeeding and maternity expert in your pocket to consult, track, and connect for new moms. Enric, be very welcomed.
Hello, everyone. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Thank you for having us. And let's go. Well, as I've been introduced, my name is Enric Pallares, and I'm the CEO of one of the 3 co-founders at LactUp. We have built a mobile app, which is actually based on expert, reliable, and evidence-based advice. It is very confidential, allowing intimate consultations from our users, very much focused on personalization with the deepest content available, and it's very and highly scalable because it runs on artificial intelligence. We know this solution works because 75% of our users actually say that LactUp has extended their breastfeeding journey, and 73% of our users say that LactUp has been key during their breastfeeding journey. But more importantly, we can prove that LactUp has helped avoid visits to health doctors in almost 60% of the cases. But this also has a huge economic impact. There is extensive evidence that expert and personalized advice given at the right time to new mothers would mitigate a burden of over $300 billion annually. And the way the app works, it's going to guide you through a very deep decision tree that's going to end up in a final response to your consultation. The app will not guide you the same way if your baby is 1 day old or if your baby is 3 months old. There's over 76,000 paths that lead to 3,000 unique responses. And this is exactly what we're building. We're moving from a case-based reasoning ecosystem where we have this heuristic model decision tree. We're building a support vector machine that's actually going to be able to respond in a conversational space. This actually works, as I said. The app is handling over 100,000 queries per week. This is 5 million accumulated consultations since 2018. 22% of all new moms in Spain are actually using the app. This is actually with no marketing investment at all. And we have more downloads of more active users than 90% of the rest of the health apps in the app stores. Last year, we were selected by Apple as one of the top women-founded companies in the world. And more recently, we have been able to prove the impact that we're making through the COVID pandemic. We tripled our consultations. We tripled the amount of queries we're getting. We started a current clinical trial related with COVID and breastfeeding. Our business model is a blended business model. We have a B2C side and a B2B side. Our B2C side is we're currently testing something very unique where we're actually asking the users to pay after they use the app. And we found out that more than 4% of our users actually pay when they see the message, and 52% of those users actually pay more than the default price, which is €9. They can actually slide this slider anywhere from 0 to 50 euros and choose the amount they want to pay. On our B2B side, we're leaning on big health providers from which we're making telemedicine deals with. We have deals going on within the maternity space, and we have in the pipeline 3 big employee benefits programs that we are actually negotiating as we speak. In our team, there's 3 PhDs, a lot of expertise in the maternity ecosystem, experts replying, and obviously an IT team that actually leads all the artificial intelligence and the development of the app. We're asking for €1 million, which we're going to use to improve our AI engine and to scale in English-speaking countries and promote the version of the English version of the app, which is already available. Thank you. Feel free to ask any questions.
Thank you very much, Enrique. So to all of judges, any questions to him?
Thanks, Enrique. I think that's thanks. It's a great presentation. I have a question around the AI models. How personalized does the advice need to be? There's like a couple of advices you can give, and in the end, do you need a complete AI engine to personalize that advice?
Yes, there's not a couple of advices you can give. There's actually breastfeeding is our core expertise. That's where we started, but consultations now go anywhere from fertility all the way to menopause. The advice on breastfeeding is very complex. It should be non-judgmental. We're not going pro breastfeeding. We're just asking mothers what they want to do. The reason why they're not breastfeeding is usually not because they don't want to, but just there's something that's not letting them do so the right way. So you get into a very long conversation. Our AI is actually helping us understand what's going on, what would be a good answer, and what would make an adequate response to the consultation. The algorithm right now is above 90% of most of the areas that we're training it in, but this has to go deeper in, and we have to make it work in a conversational environment. I don't know if that answers your question.
Thanks, that's helpful.
Thank you.
Hi, Enrique. Thanks for the really great pitch. I'd love to understand, you've got B2C and B2B revenue streams. In the long term, which do you see as the biggest driver for your overall revenues in the company?
What we're seeing right now, we believe the B2B is going to be the big driver, but we are seeing the B2C fueling the B2B. It's those companies that are actually somehow seeing that their employees are using the app. When we say in Spain, 22% of our users usually, it's a lot of people using it. So we're getting the traction from the customer base that's actually pushing the companies wanting to have those services for their employees or for their customers or for whatever deal we make with them, because every licensing agreement with the B2B is very different. So we do believe in the future, the big money will come from B2B, employee benefit programs, et cetera, big health providers working with us with them, et cetera. But we believe the B2C proves the value that we bring in, and they're the ones that are going to claim their companies to be working with us with our services. That makes sense.
Do you have any plans?
Your time was a fantastic presentation, and it's time to continue. And we will do it with Silvia Raga. She's the CEO of Daycare. Daycare make affordable and effective digital therapy accessible to millions of musculoskeletal sufferers around the world. Silvia, welcome.
Hello, hi to everybody. Let me share the screen. Okay. So, at Daycare, we really changed the paradigm of physical rehabilitation, making affordable and effective digital therapy accessible to millions of musculoskeletal sufferers around the world. So the last April, when 11 in the night, I received the call of the managing innovation of the DKV company that they urgently needed to implement a telerehabilitation service to their insurer. I really realized that we are in the right place and in the right moment. Musculoskeletal disease affects 1.7 billion people in the world. Healthcare system highly dependent on specialized human resources is costly, and this affects both the access and effectiveness of rehabilitation program. We'd also need to consider that by 2050, 8 out of 10 people will suffer from some chronic disease with an exponential need of a physical therapy. The growing costs of rehabilitation program are becoming unsustainable. That is why we have created the next generation of physical rehabilitation, changing how therapy is designed, experienced, and implemented. So our solution improve the clinical outcome up to 20% just in 2 weeks of treatment compared to a rehabilitation therapy, with a patient satisfaction score of 85%, and we raise also the patient adherence up to 80%. With our telerehabilitation platform, the professional, of course, can prescribe a personalized rehabilitation program through a quick glance dashboard can follow the progress of the patient, the exercise execution, and change the therapy remotely if needed. The patient, by side, can perform his exercises safely and easily whenever and wherever you want using this smart exercise kit and the Rehab app. The unique design of this exercise kit allows the patient to train all joints, and for the first time in the market, we are able to measure movement and the strength. This is the app they use the patient, so he receives a real-time biofeedback on how he's execute the exercise. He never feel alone because every time is accompanied by the virtual assistant Diana that motivates, analyze the movement and guide the patient in the correct execution. Also, the app promotes an active communication with the professional. In this way, we increase empowerment and adherence in the rehabilitation process. The solution has been designed with clear competitive advantages. First of all, we can speak about accessibility because our platform is a multi-platform, so more secure and available in any device. Comfortable thanks to the design of our smart exercise kit that is a non-invasive solution, and the best in class because I repeat, we are the unique that we are able to measure simultaneously movement and the strength. Regarding the business model is composed by three sources of recurring revenue. One is the payment of an annual license for each professional. The second one is the payment of a renting for the exercise kit, for each exercise kit. But the big engine of all the business is the fee for a remote session that the professional prescribed to the patient. In just 4 months that we have launched this solution in the market, we have got a very quick traction because we have signed a strategic partnership with DKV that counts with more than 1,400 centers in Spain. We have implemented the solution in several hospitals and also closed for a distribution agreement. By 2025, we estimated to reach 23 million and sell more than 15 million of remote sessions. We are now raising 3 million euros to execute our growth strategy and keep our clinical and technological lead to become the leading company in the telerehabilitation market. At DiCare, we are 12 people. Me and Ricardo, we combine more than 15 years in international experience in the medtech company, in very important companies such as Roche Diagnostic and San Pau Hospital. But in this dream, in this project, we are not alone because we are supported by a very prestigious medical and scientific advisory board that is really active and committed to support DiCare to revolutionize the rehabilitation market. So social distance measurement are really pushing telerehabilitation service. This means that we are well positioned to offer a disruptive product that the market really needs to become a leading company and to create the next generation of physical rehabilitation. So telehealth time is finally come, and I think that is here to stay. Thank you very much.
Silvia, right now it's time for questions.
Hi, Sylvia. It's Sam here. Thank you for your presentation. My question was around understanding the go-to-market and I suppose the customer base. I'm curious, where in the healthcare system do you find there's most pull for these digital physiotherapy solutions? Are you looking at employers for their employees, insurers, or is it the providers of physio themselves who would want to augment their services with technology like yours?
Okay, in our case, our model is a B2B and we have a different target market. Of course, we have rehabilitation centers, another channel is insurance company, and the other one is hospital and so on. But for the most important things for us is that we sell to a health center, but really the protagonist of all the process is the physiotherapist, because the physiotherapist with our solution really can increase his income because we provide to the physiotherapist a tool to follow, to reach more patients, really to monetize all the remote session and rehabilitation program that the patient perform at home in a very safety way.
Hi, how are you doing? It's good to see you again and great presentation. Hi. So a question about your thinking of international markets and what's the timing for that? Because, you know, and also how you think about the space in terms of the competition. You know, I know you presented the slide, but have you met actual competition in your own market yet?
Yeah. So regarding the internationalization, we are now present in Spain and Italy, and really with the COVID, we have pushed a lot. We have sales our software in Qatar, in Chile, in other countries. But our timeline is to reach Germany next year, and then other European countries, and in 2023 USA. Regarding the competitor, really the market is fragmented. There are, as you know, other solutions, but we think that I mentioned 3 differential aspects, but for me, the most important aspect is that our solution is driven by the professional. It's not a solution, a gadget that the patient uses autonomously at home. We are really convinced that the real engine and the empowerment of all the rehabilitation program is made by the physiotherapist. This is, I think,
Silvia,
and
now it's the turn goes to Marina Gomez de Tejada, COO of Dinbit. Dinbit Life is a wearable telemedicine device to remotely monitor multiple vital signs in real time of an unlimited number of patients concurrently. Marina, hello, good afternoon.
Hi,
very welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. Let me share my screen.
Right now.
Okay. So, hello, everyone. And my name is Marina. Today I'm here to ask you for a more valuable thing than money, your feedback, experience, and knowledge, because together we can build a greater thing. I'm here to show you Dinbit Life, a system that overcomes the main healthcare barriers. But first of all, we'd like to tell you about Dinbit. Our company was born in 2016 to create a system to allow veterinary professionals to wirelessly monitor non-sedated animals. We commercially launched our solution called Dinbit Uno in Spain at the end of 2019. What I'm meaning is we're tech development experts, so we already done this journey before successfully. And the system I'm going to present you today is born from the technology we developed for the veterinary sector and is fully validated on animals. We adapted to human during the lockdown because of a Barcelona hospital request. Location won't be a limit anymore because Dinbit Life arrives where you can arrive, taking care of people wherever they are, even at home. If we were not in 2020, perhaps it would be necessary to explain how important it is to have a remote monitoring system to monitor health patients at home without having to call them one by one to check if they had, for example, a fever. I would have also to explain some people die in nursing homes without anyone knowing because caretakers do not have the appropriate tools to avoid it. I would have to speak too about exceptional and unlikely situations, such a pandemic, and how important it would be in all those scenarios, a remote monitoring system. But we are still in 2020, and I don't think this is necessary. We have developed Dinbit Life, the most complete telemedicine system to connect your health with any medical professional in the world. Software telemedicine platforms are great, but who's collecting real data? Because as you know, some patients are not able to do it properly themselves. So we've learned something very important this year. Hardware is most necessary than ever. These are the devices that currently compose Dinbit Life. In addition, we can capture data from other devices such as smart scales or blood pressure monitors to help professionals obtain all the information they need. So let's take a deeper look to the whole system. The monitor, this is the brain of the system, and it captures patient data through connected accessories, thermometer, pulse oximeter, and ECG cable, and through internal sensors. So once it receives the information, it sends it to the hub. The hub is our router, so it receives data from all connected monitors and sends it to the software in the cloud. Our contact thermometer is small but accurate. This is the pulse oximeter we have developed. So you put your finger in and the sensor takes care of the rest. These are the parameters we already measure thanks to our solution. The entire system has been developed at Dinbit, so from hardware to firmware, software, and algorithms, everything. Can you imagine if a system like Dimbit Life had been implemented during the pandemic? This would have allowed to create a huge pool of data to make quick global decisions, understanding, for example, which treatments were working better. Health professionals can monitor an unlimited number of patients at the same time from one screen. There are other devices in the market, but Dimbit Life is not a device. It's a complete modular, scalable, and almost ready-to-market system. And we can connect other devices to the software to complete our solution. Numbers are important, but as you see, the opportunity is huge. This is not for one illness or a condition. Health monitoring will be needed for all of us at some point in our lives. Hospital monitoring, home-based monitoring, or an emergency situation like the one we are living. We all will need to have monitoring tools at home, and we want to be there for you. This is the size of the market. Our business model consists of two streams, so sales of devices and licensing our software and premium services. But in the long term, data will be our main asset. The team is experienced and passionate and is able to take the project to the next level. Our main investors are from a Boston-based life science research company, and we also have many business angels who have supported us in our last investment rounds. Until today, we have raised 1.5 million euros. We have the technology developed, patent pending, and we are going on the certification process. So as a company and as a team, we already come along this way successfully with Dimbit Uno. So it's not new for us, and we'll do it again for Dimbit Life. Today, we're not looking for money. We closed our last investment round in May of this year. So once we have the medical device certification next year, we will open our next investment round for Dimbit Life. So keep you posted. In the meantime, please be in touch with us and send us your feedback. Thank you very much for your time, and let's improve the health telemedicine system together.
Thank you very much, Marina, for your brilliant presentation. Judges, now it's your turn to make questions, in case you have it, of course.
Thanks, Marina. I really appreciate the presentation. Sorry, Flavia, you go ahead.
Are you sure? Okay. Thank you, Marina. Very good presentation.
Thank you.
My question is around your go-to-market strategy. You clearly have done quite a lot of progress on the device, but I don't think that you've touched a lot about how you're actually going to commercialize this.
Yes, you're absolutely true. So we were very focused on technology and helping on the COVID situation for the last 4 months. And we are, in fact, analyzing the go-to-market strategy and how we're going to reach the market. But I can say we're going to target B2B markets, so hospitals, centers, and insurance companies, and so on, so private and public medical centers. And we will arrive through medical distributors. So this is the right way to do it for the channel, but also depends on the market, on the country. So we have very different health systems, so you know that this will depend a lot on the market that we're going to target. We will target Spain for the first time.
Thank you very much, Marina. Let's continue with the growth presentations. Right now, the turn goes to Christian Grace, CEO of Derma2Go. Derma2Go offers patients the leading dermatological care in hours, regardless of their location. Christian, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Do you see my slides? Great. My name is Christian. I'm the founder of Derma2Go, and I'm a medical doctor, dermatologist at University Hospital Zurich. And I'm happy to present you Derma2Go, a teledermatological platform that offers patients to see dermatologists online. Did you know that we have a global medical undersupply in dermatology? Patients have to wait up to 4 months to see a dermatologist in real, like for example in my clinic. Patients have to travel long distances and spend hours to see a specialist. And the big problem is, and this is a major problem, they often have to see several dermatologists to get the right solution for their problem. On the other side, we have 76% of the patient who actually express interest in using digital services as part of the medical consultation, so they do not have to see a dermatologist in person. So we came up with a full patient journey teledermatological platform, Derma2Go, to provide dermatological best care to our patients. How does it work? The patient detects a skin problem, takes a picture, fills out the questionnaire, and sends it out. Will be received by a dermatologist. This dermatologist can chat with the patient. He can carry out a diagnosis with different text blocks and then actually recommend some treatment. This treatment directly will be sent to a pharmaceutical to a pharmacist, to a delivery pharmacist, and this medication will be delivered to the patient's home within 24 hours. So from patient sitting home to patient receiving medication within 24 to 48 hours getting the medication. We see three major pillars to ensure best dermatological care through Derma2Go as a tech-empowered platform. How do we do it? On the one hand side, we really go for the leading doctors to actually use our system, provide dermatological care in different, and this is very important, subdisciplines in dermatology. So we always have the best doctor for the patient's skin problem. On the other hand side, we are collecting all the data. We are collecting pictures. We are collecting data through diagnosis and treatment to convert these health data into market insights and for sure in the end to health relevance. This all ends up in a system with advanced diagnostics and treatments to actually get as earliest diagnosis as possible and the optimal treatment. How do we go to the market and how do we make money out of it? We have actually two ways to get to our target customer. The first one is direct access B2C through marketing. We just extend our team with 2 people focused on marketing, SEO, SER to reach our patients. And the other way is direct sales through, we name them as strategic catalysts, like major partners. We are working with almost every university hospital here in Switzerland, with a lot of university hospitals in Germany, with patients associations, with pharmaceutical companies. We recently closed 4 or 5 major deals with pharmaceutical companies within Germany and Switzerland, and also for exposed companies or governmental institutions in terms of preventive care. I introduced myself in the beginning. I'm the founder of Derma2Go. We have a team now with several people in several subdisciplines: IT, operations, finance. I'm happy also that Pascal from finance and Laura is joining this meeting. And as I mentioned before, we have 2 people in market team and 2 students right now working for us to extend our knowledge in customer relation and usability. One key element of our team is the medical advisory board. We have opinion leaders from the major clinics in Switzerland and in Germany supporting our platform and our product actually day by day. And as I mentioned before, also offering all the online consultations to our patients. Where are we right now? We have, thanks of Corona as well, quite a growth, Q3 290%, organic site traffic 40%, we have quite well conversion rates currently, high customer satisfaction rate and a quick completion of requests. Right now active in Switzerland, Germany, Austria and Switzerland. I mentioned before, B2B is very important for us, different hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, but also health insurances, pharmaceutical pharmacies, delivery pharmacies. So far, we are happy to also get some awards in the past. Also, we were part of the Digital Garden project. Some of you might know it. Now it's unfortunately finished. And we had a great time in the Barcelona Health Lab. Right now, we are targeting a market of about 130 million people. We this year expect, and we are quite there, a revenue of 170,000 through B2C and B2B business, and scaling it up to about 12 million revenue within the next 4 and 5 years. Therefore, we just recently closed a financing round, but therefore we are looking for another financing round within the next year, about 3 million, spending this majorly on sales, but also for sure in research development, I mentioned this before, and general and administrative points. With this, I would like to thank you for your... I would like to thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Just one quick question, 30 seconds for the questions from our judges.
I have
Hey,
a question.
Christian.
You go.
My question was just understanding the data that you're able to have going through your system. Would be really interested if you're able to collect those images and the diagnosis, and then how you intend to act on that.
Yeah, we are exactly doing this. We have great collaborations. I'm working at University Hospital Zurich, and we have 2 other hospitals with PhD students actually going in these projects.
Thank you very much, Christian, for this presentation. That was the last growth presentation. Thanks, everybody, for your brilliant presentation. And the judges will now deliberate to choose the winner. The 10 finalists today can benefit from $10,000 from Amazon Web Services credit, and the 2 winners, $25,000. Guy Spiegelman will explain you quite better in just a minute.